Hello everyone, I hope you guys are all having a fabulous Monday. Today I'm coming in with the weekly Minks Monday Q&A. Before we get started, let me share the bag that I'm currently rocking, and that is the Chanel Mini Rectangular in the black lambskin with the light gold hardware. Alright, so grab your coffee, grab your tea, let's start work, let's go to work, let's do laundry, whatever it is that you do, come join me. We have some awesome topics to cover today and loads of eye candy. Alright, so let's get started with the very first question, shall we? From T. Dela Cruz 2011, hopefully I said that correctly. I am in the market for my first Chanel Jumbo Caviar Leather with gold tone hardware. Not sure whether to get one pre-loved or brand new. I don't really care about the boutique experience, but I'm seeing some on Fashionable for close to retail price. Which route should I go? Your thoughts? Alright, so you couldn't care less about the boutique experience and you're wondering whether or not you should go brand new or pre-loved. It's a little bit tough because I think it's all a matter of personal preference, and I think that each one has its pros and its cons. If you do end up going the brand new route, one of the pros is the authenticity. You don't have to question the authenticity as you do when it comes to the pre-loved market, even if you are buying from a reputable, website, but you have the peace of mind. It's also a brand new item. There are no scratches, there are no dents, there is no odor or anything like that. It's kind of like you're starting fresh, and anything that happens afterwards, it's something that you ended up doing to the bag, you know what I mean? So you get to start a brand new chapter with the bag, so I think that's great. Another pro for going brand new is the fact that you also have the Chanel warranty. Now, the warranty isn't as great as some other fashion houses. It has a 5-year warranty, and even then, sometimes it's a little bit limited, or sometimes it's a little bit more like a case-by-case scenario. But still, it's almost like you have a clock automatically after you end up buying the bag, you know? So that's one thing to know. And I know a lot of people have talked about how the prices continue to increase when it comes to Chanel, but they're not seeing the quality that used to be there as it was 5, 10, even 20 years ago. So I thought I'd throw that out there just in case. Now, as far as the pre-love route, I know that you said that on Fashionable you saw some that are really close to retail. There are other resale websites out there, such as Yogi's Closet, and even then, when it comes to the pre-love market and classic flaps, they're always going to be a little bit more competitive with each other, especially with the price increases. As the prices continue to increase, so will the prices on the pre-love market, but I still feel that you can end up finding some really great deals out there on some pieces that are like brand new, immaculate, never used. You know, it's just a matter of timing, I guess, you know, because you'll end up seeing some, you know, like 10 to 15 that are super close to retail or more than retail price, you know, and you'll see that for a couple months, and then, you know, out of the blue, you'll end up finding one that's in perfect condition, brand new, and it'll be like $1,000 less than retail price. So it's all a matter of timing as well when it comes to the pre-love market. Now, another thing, kind of like what I said before, that if you end up getting brand new, they end up having a warranty through Chanel, but if you end up getting it pre-loved, you don't have that warranty. Anything that ends up happening to the bag, you have to go through a third party. But as I said before, if you do end up finding one that has really great savings, even if something was to happen later on down the line with the bag, it'll still be a lot less than if you were to buy it brand new at the boutique, you know, with tax or without tax. It depends where you live. So that's one other thing to take into consideration, you know. So if you want to save a little bit more money, or if you want to go for a bag that has a little bit of history to it, or even if it has a few more beauty marks, you can end up going that route. But if your heart is set on getting the Chanel Jumbo, and if you want a brand new bag, something that doesn't have any this, doesn't have any that, and you still have that Chanel warranty, I'll put that in parentheses, then maybe that's the way to go. So I don't know if this ends up helping out or not, but whichever route you end up going for, I'm super excited for you, and congratulations on your soon-to-be jumbo. So fantastic question. Hopefully I was able to help. Next question from Angie Foy. I really want a Chanel small classic flap in black lambskin with silver hardware. However, I find that small classics are such unicorns that they're never in store. I find myself looking for bags to fill my hunger for this bag, but it's only a temporary fix. Any recommendations on a store to call or a pre-love site? All right, and I agree with you. When it comes to small classics, they are so incredibly hard to find here in the States. From what I have been told from a few different sales associates, as well as when we were overseas, that small classics are actually more common or a little bit easier to find, and I say that very loosely, when you're in Europe or when you're overseas versus here in the States. Here in the States, it's more so finding the medium large, the jumbo, and the maxi. But I asked one of my sales associates a while ago, I said, what about small classic flaps? Do you guys ever get those? She said that in the time that she's been working for Chanel, I think she's been working for him for like 12 years, 12 or 13 years if I'm not mistaken, she said that she's only seen 2. One of them was a return. So they're a lot harder to find here in the States. And if you want to go through the Preloved site, some of the ones that I always recommend are Yogi's Closet and Fashion File. A lot of people also recommend going through Vestivier. Vestivier, is that how you say it? I never know how to say that that company, but I will put it right here. If you go through them, they also have a very large selection of small classic flaps. But even then, I shouldn't say a large selection because those are some of the hardest bags to find. And what I would also suggest, a different avenue to take, is to possibly use a personal shopper. A personal shopper that's very, very reputable, because with personal shoppers, a lot of them will often go, will end up going to Europe, and they have a little bit more access to those small classic flaps. And with the price difference between here in the States and there, even with the fee that they might end up charging, it might end up being a little bit less expensive than getting one here on the Preloved market, just because, again, they're a little bit harder to find. So that might be something that you want to do, but definitely if you want to get a brand new one and someone that has a little bit more access to them are personal shoppers. I've heard some people say that they've had really great success with personal shoppers being able to find some of those really hard to find items. So I don't know if that ends up helping, but I thought I would throw that suggestion out there anyways. But fantastic question. Hopefully I was able to answer it. Next question from Tashawn Shields. I need your expertise. I'm just starting my designer handbag collection. I currently have the Louis Vuitton Neverfull GM in Damier Ebene, the Speedy Bandolier 30 in Damier Ebene, and the Artsy in Mono. I want to purchase a Louis Vuitton Azure piece. I'm leaning towards the classic Speedy 30 or 35 or the Graceful. What are your thoughts? I'm leaning towards the Speedy, but I'm torn on the size. All right, so fantastic question. I absolutely love your collection. And the Graceful, I think it's a beautiful bag. It's very, very comfortable. If you do want silhouette variety, I would end up going for the Speedy. Now, when it comes to the size between the 30 and the 35, it's all a matter of personal preference. What I can tell you, what I kind of ran into when it came to the classic Speedy 35. I used to have those in my collection. That's the bag that I ended up going for. And the way that I saw it, when I remember when I was at the store, I was like, okay, the size 30, I can't remember how much it was back then, but I think it was either a $20 or $25 difference, or maybe it was a little bit more, between the 30 and the 35. So I was thinking, okay, go for the 35, go big or go home. And I started to realize that the 35 didn't end up really working out for my lifestyle because it was a little too big. I found that it was just a little bit overwhelming. It was sometimes uncomfortable because I would end up stuffing it to the brim. I'd fit everything and the kitchen sink in there. So from personal experience, I found that go big or go home doesn't necessarily always end up working out for me. And the size 30, in my opinion, is perfect because it's not too big, it's not too small. You can still carry a crazy amount of items inside, and it doesn't look like it's a little too overwhelming. But as I said before, it's all a matter of personal preference. If you find yourself wanting to carry a lot more with you, then I would go for the 35, and it also has a little bit more of a generous opening when it comes to the 35 versus the 30. But as I said before, in my personal opinion, I love the size 30. I think it's great. It's the perfect hand carry size. But if you want something a little bit smaller, but something that you can still carry quite a bit, I would go for the 30. But again, if you want to go for a hobo that's very, very comfortable, I would go for the Graceful. So I don't know if this ends up helping. Hopefully I'm not confusing you a little bit more, but go with whichever one makes your heart sing the loudest, and definitely go for the one that you see yourself really using the most. And one thing that I also would recommend is to make a list of all 3 bags and kind of go through their pros and cons. Be very honest with the pros and cons, and that way you can kind of seeing which one you want to add to your collection by process of elimination. I don't know, but that's what I end up doing sometimes when I'm undecided. So fantastic question, and hopefully I was able to answer it. Next question from Miko Girly 99. I do have a question. It's far from luxury, but reusable grocery bags. What is your go-to reusable bag, and how do you carry it around? I use Enviro Sacks because of the way it buttons up pretty small, but even with that, it takes up so much space in my bag. I always carry 2 to 4 because I never know when I'm going to be popping into the grocery store. It comes in a pouch to store it in, but it still takes up so much space. Do you have this issue? I absolutely love this question because it shouldn't be a surprise that since I am a crazy bag lady, I am also a crazy reusable grocery bag lady. Absolutely. And I'm always looking for really cute like new designs or whatever. All right, so I do have, I don't carry any of them in my handbag, however. That's the one thing that I don't do. I don't know why either. I more so carry them in the trunk of my car, and I'm also that lady that when I go to the grocery store, wherever I am, when I go to pay and they ask, you know, do you have your bag with you? I'm like, oh, beep, it's in my car. You know what I mean? So I feel like I'm constantly buying them because I forget them, and if I have too many items that I can't carry in my bag or in, you know, like on my hands or in my hands, yeah, I end up buying a little too much. I think I have maybe, no joke, like 15 to maybe 20 in my trunk at this very moment, you know, and I feel like I have this collection because I'm always forgetting them. But anyways, I do have 3 that I use all the time. The first one is this guy. It's from Vintage and Modern Madness. I have talked about the shop many of times, and it says Addicted to Handbags. They're the ones that also I have a sweatshirt that says this, and I have a t-shirt that says this. So the fact that it's this, this really nice canvas tote, I particularly like to use this when I go into Trader Joe's, like if I go buy wine or what have you. So I use this one all the time, and it has a zip closure. It's kind of dirty, so my apologies, but this one is awesome. I also have this guy. I can't remember where I got it, but I've had it for what seems like eons, but it has a fleur-de-lis. That's no surprise. I mean, you guys know how I feel about fleur-de-lis. It's not the most, it's not the most user-friendly either because it is quite massive and it has a north-south design that doesn't make it very comfortable to use. But I still rock it anyways because I like the fleur-de-lis. So this guy, and another one that I use quite often is this one. This is actually from Marshall's. Is it Marshall's? Yeah, Marshall's, and it says it has London on there with a black taxi. And I gotta say that when it comes to either Marshall's, Home Goods, or TJ Maxx, they have some of the cutest reusable bags like at the checkout. And I feel like I'm constantly looking around to see what they have. Anything that has like an Eiffel Tower, Paris, London, Rome, whatever, anything like that, oh yeah, I always end up grabbing those. So I really like these because they're ginormous and they fit, I mean, all of my groceries, no problem. Sometimes it gets a little bit, you know, heavy, but those are great. And of course, Costco, the Costco, what's it called? I think they're called Keep Cool bags. Those are awesome. But anyways, those are the ones that I end up using the most. But I don't carry anything in my bag. And I think it would probably be because of the same reason that you said, that it might end up taking too much space, or on the not the off chance, but when I do end up going into the grocery store, I try my hardest to go into the trunk of my car to get the bags. But as I told you guys previously, I'm terrible at it. I'm absolutely terrible. And sometimes I have left things at the checkout because I don't want to buy a bag. How bad is that, you know? So I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on reusable grocery bags. I don't know what it is about this question, but I absolutely love it. I think it's amazing because crazy bag ladies will definitely get it right. But if you guys want to share what you guys use for reusable bags, let us know in the comment section down below. Or if there's one that you really recommend, let us know as well. But fantastic question. Hopefully I was able to answer it. Next question from Kim Richards. I'm thinking about getting my hubby a wallet for Christmas, but I'm so torn between the multiple, slender, or pocket organizer. It's so hard to choose when you're looking online. I might just take him down to the store at some point. I believe you mentioned at one point that your hubby has a Louis Vuitton wallet. It was his first Lex piece, I think. Any opinions, thoughts, input on what you think is best? All right, so between the multiple, the slender, or the pocket organizer, I think all 3 of them are awesome, awesome pieces. The multiple is a little bit bigger. It ends up carrying a crazy amount of items, so it's all a matter of personal preference on what your hubby ends up carrying. If you see him carrying a lot more cards with him, business cards, what have you, the slender multiple might be a better way to go. I really like the slender because you still carry quite a few items with you, quite a few cards with you, but it's not as bulky as the multiple. And the pocket organizer is of course the most compact out of the 3, and that one gives you a chance to really streamline what it is that he's going to be carrying. Now the craziest thing is that when I was looking at the wallets for my hubby, I was actually looking at the multiple wallet because the multiple wallet is it's a lot more similar to the wallets that he used to carry before. and I have a little bit of eye candy. This is one of my hubby's old wallets. I don't know why he holds on to his old wallets. He has a drawer full of them, but he does. I think it's super, super cute. But he has this old wallet. Look at this thing. He would go through his wallets like crazy. I feel like I keep saying wallets like a million times. But he would go through these like crazy. Every one would last him maybe 3 to 5 months at most, and they would constantly get trashed, you know, on the corners or what have you. So I felt that this one was very similar to the multiple for the most part, without this little middle section. But when he opted for the pocket organizer, I mean, that's a huge difference between them. And as I said before, it really helped him to streamline what it is that he carried with him, because he found he's kind of like me. He would end up carrying everything and the kitchen sink in his wallet. There were cards in there that he didn't need, cards that he had, that he had carried for years, you know. So it was, he said that it was very eye-opening as to how many cards he really needed to carry with him versus this one. He felt that because it was bigger, he felt that he needed to carry more with him. I don't know if that makes sense. It makes a whole lot of sense to me because I am the exact same way, you know, so it's kind of nice. It's kind of nice that we're both kind of crazy that way. So again, it's all a matter of personal preference. If you think that your hubby feels more comfortable carrying a few more cards with him, and he doesn't mind that it's a little bit bulkier. It's not crazy bulky either. Then I would go for the multiple. If you want something a little bit more compact, but you can still carry quite a few cards in there as well, then I think that the slender is awesome. But if he wants to downsize completely and he wants to go for something a little bit more comfortable to carry either in his front pocket or his back pocket, then I would recommend going for the pocket organizer. And you can still end up carrying a crazy amount of items in here. It's all a matter of how you end up fitting them. But he said, my hubby has said that this one is, I mean, ridiculously comfortable in comparison to this, because this one sometimes he'd end up sitting on it, or whenever he'd have it in his front pocket, it was kind of bulky, and he thought that this one, you know, he wouldn't go back, which I think is amazing, you know. And look at the difference of the wear when it comes to the pocket organizer. He's still really hard on them, and it's lasted a really, really long time in comparison to something like this. In comparison to something like this. I mean, look at that. I feel like it's night and day. So I don't know if that ends up helping you out, but definitely I would say take him into the boutique and see which item, you know, really ends up working out the best for him. So fantastic question. Hopefully I was able to help. Next question from Lux Lab Life. With your birthday, has there ever been an item you wanted but couldn't bring yourself to buy it as your own gift? An item that makes your heart sing and you know you need it, but for whatever reason, refuse to purchase it for yourself. I hope that makes sense. My birthday was in October, and every year I find an item that I designate as one my husband should buy me, and I drop all sorts of hints. Even if I have the money saved up for it, I won't buy it for myself. Well, first and foremost, happy belated birthday. I hope you had an amazing day. And for my birthday, is there ever an item that I wanted but I couldn't bring myself to buy it as my own gift? You know, for my birthday or for any occasion, I don't end up asking for anything. The only thing that I really ask for is either a meal or to have a get together, kind of like what I talked about in a previous Minks Monday. That to me is the ultimate gift, you know, and if I do end up seeing something, I'll end up grabbing it for myself. But you know, the funniest thing is that a lot of my family members think that I am the hardest person to purchase for. I don't see it that way. I think I'm the easiest person, because whether it's a card, a stick of gum, a vial of glitter, I am ridiculously happy, you know, so I don't ask for anything expensive. But without the birthday, without anniversary or anything like that, there was one item that I had the funds for that I really wanted to add to my collection. I had done a ton of research. I wanted this bag so badly. The one thing that really helped from not buying it myself was the fact that I couldn't find it to save my life. Everywhere that I looked, it was either sold out or it was one of the hardest bags to be able to locate. And that is the Chanel medium large. This bag, I mean, I remember after I got my jumbo, I started using it a bit, and then I started to do a little bit more research on the medium large, and there was just something about this bag. I think that it's gorgeous. I think that it's incredible, and I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it. Otherwise, I think I would have bought this for my birthday that year, but the hubby beat me to it, and he ended up getting it for me for our anniversary. But to be completely honest with you, even then, I don't know if I would have been able to do it. I don't know what it is. I hyperventilated when it came to my jumbo. I freaked out. You know, we've talked about this before. I got so nervous. I felt like my heart was in my chest, and I have a feeling that the same thing would have happened with the medium large. Like push came to shove, I think I'd be like, I can't do it, I can't do it. So, I mean, that really ended up helping out. The fact that I couldn't find it and the fact that he ended up surprising me for our anniversary was pretty amazing. But yeah, other than that, if I do end up seeing something, I'll end up getting it for myself. I try not to get too crazy. I know that I kind of went a little bit off to the deep end for my birthday this past year, but for the most part, I try to keep those blinders on, you know what I mean? So fantastic question. Hopefully I was able to answer it. Next question from Gretchen Stark. Have you ever gotten a Chloe Marcie? It's first on my wish list. Would love your thoughts. All right, so let me insert a picture of the Chloe Marcie right now. I have not picked up a Chloe Marcie, but I do think that they're beautiful. I think that they have a really great price point, especially for the quality of their leather. When it comes to Chloe in general, I think that they have beautiful, beautiful leather. It's very, very soft, and a lot of people say that it's also very durable. I think that the Marcie has quite a bit of space, so you can fit a few more items inside than people might assume, or than some people might think, I should say. But this is one of the bags that I really appreciate on other people, but it's not necessarily a bag that I would end up adding to my collection. I can't really put my finger on it. It could be because it's not as structured as I would like, but I do think that it's beautiful nonetheless. So if it is on your wish list, if you love it, I say go for it. If you guys have any pros and cons that you can share if you do own the Chloe Marcie, let us know in the comment section down below. So fantastic question, and hopefully I was able to answer it. And the last question from Mary Asai, hopefully I said that correctly. What bag would you use as a diaper bag if or when you have a baby? All right, so there's two different bags or two silhouettes that I have in my collection that I think that I would lean towards if we have a baby. And the first one definitely won't be a surprise, but that is the Neverfull. I mean, I love, love, love this bag. I feel like you can use it in so many different aspects of your life. And as a diaper bag, I think it would be fabulous. It's lightweight. It's incredibly spacious. You can see everything at a glance. It's not very fussy or anything like that. So I think that the Neverfull, whether it's the MM or the GM, I think makes an awesome, awesome diaper bag, you know? And when you're not using it as a diaper bag, you can use it as something else. I have no idea, but this would be one of my first choices. And the other one would be the Longchamp Le Pliage, the large tote, because it's very, very carefree. I mean, you have this nylon that you don't have to worry about. You have the treated leather that you don't have to worry about. It also has a zip closure, so I think that it gives you a little bit more peace of mind just in case. You know, so these two bags, I think definitely would end up being the diaper bags, you know. But I feel like I talk about the Neverfull so much. I actually had a few people say, "Can you talk about a different bag?" Trust me, I get it. I totally get it. But I think that this bag is incredible, you know what I mean? And if I like something, I have a tendency to talk about it a little too much. So anyways, hopefully that's the last time I talk about it for a little while, you know what I mean? But definitely the Neverfull and the Longchamp Le Pliage would be my ideal diaper bags if and when we have a baby, you know what I mean? So fantastic question. Hopefully I was able to answer it. All right, you guys, so that does it for Minks Monday Q&A. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope I was able to help. You guys had some awesome questions this week. For this week's lineup, I have the handbag of the week video going up on Wednesday. I'm really excited about it as well because I got a lot of feedback from my previous video. If I could talk about this silhouette. And as far as the third video, I have no idea because Thanksgiving is this week, so it's going to be a little bit crazy. It's going to be a little bit hectic, but hopefully I can have that either for Friday or Saturday. I don't know. I'm still gonna try my hardest to get that third video out. But if I don't see you guys again, I hope that you guys have an awesome Thanksgiving, and I hope you're able to celebrate it with your loved ones. But yes, so again, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure and give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already and you would like to, please subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the red button down below. Clicking on the red button down below and hitting that bell so you're notified when I upload videos, which is anywhere from 2 to 3 times a week. And I'll see you guys later. And as always, make it a fabulous day or not. The choice is yours. Have a great day.